A little itchy, Brian?
I am a little itchy.
I can't get used to this new look of you. I
Well,
feel like half of you was missing. Just saying.
hair, it grows back.
I know, but you were known for that.
Well, you can, my true colors are coming through with the gray. I gotta.
Oh, talk about gray hair. Jesus.
Oh my God. What are you like, 32?
35, and I feel like the gray is coming in quick.
That happens.
Recently.
The good thing with being military, I don't know exactly when my gray started coming in.
That's good.
Because, weekend growth is, about what you got.
Yeah.
And then you shave it back off, and then, can't really tell until I started my other job, and I did what I do 4 on, 5 off. I get a nice little look going by then. That's when I started realizing that was a special duty assignment.
I'm thinking this episode is going to air this week.
Should be Monday?
No, a makeup for not having Monday.
Oh, you gonna air it tomorrow?
Yeah. And then the episode.
So we could wish everybody a happy early 4th of July.
Yeah. This is the special 4th of July episode.
There you go. See, we had this all planned.
Yeah, totally planned.
Let me see if there's a background with fireworks.
That was great. I hope that comes off in the recording.
There we go. That was it.
But yeah, I'm kind of excited about this episode.
The boom booms.
Yeah. I'm a little excited about this episode anyways.
So is this going to be a special episode?
It's it's a makeup for Monday.
A makeup special. We had this planned. So
yeah, this was completely planned.
This is what we wanted to do. They couldn't make it when we wanted to do it. So
yeah, it's just the late Monday show.
Yeah, so Bobby, don't gripe at me.
Hi, this is Blinky, broadcasting almost live from the Boscoyo Broadcast Studios. You're listening to the second season of the Professional Triers podcast.
Oh, yeah!
Remember to like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. And now here are your hosts, the Professional Triers.
Hey, welcome to a special Not on Monday episode because I forgot to record one. Episode.
Yeah, it's all planned, remember?
Oh, that's right. It was planned. Sorry. Forgot. This was planned midweek episode that we're going to air on Thursday for things. But I have my co-host with no hair now. He cut everything off, Brian. And we have a very special episode.
Summer look.
With all the important people from the Great Christmas Light Fight. Well, I think they're the important people. We have Felicia, who is super important when it comes to when you're on the show. And then we have Kristen, who was super important in getting me on the show. And we have AJ, who is also super important with people getting on the show, but I didn't have experience with her. This is the first time I'm going to talk to her and meet her. So welcome, guys. How you guys doing?
Accent.
She's from Australia.
I do.
Cool.
Rip her bloody beauty, mate. Cheers and lots of beers. G'day, how you going? That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Oh, this is going to be
You have that prepared.
I won't tell her that I'm drinking a lightweight American beer with clamato.
Ooh. As long as it's not Foster's.
Orange beer.
Why is it?
It's got clamato. It's good.
Well, thank you so much for having us. I'm Felicia. I'm one of the executive producers. I've been on the show all going on 9 seasons now. Wow. We are so thrilled to be here. The community of light enthusiasts means so much to us. The show would not be here without many of the people who listen to this podcast, and hopefully the growing number who are interested in light fight. So thank you so much for giving us a platform to talk about the show. And
no problem.
Yeah, and
My pleasure.
I guess I'll kind of start off and letting you guys know where we're at right now, and I'm sure there'll be a few burning questions. the things are not normal in Hollywood. In case
No.
anyone hasn't noticed, things are not normal in Hollywood. We're trying to get back to a place where productions can resume. A few of them have, and we are fortunate enough that we don't film until November and December. So hopefully by then things will really be figured out. But as of right now, we are going ahead with casting as if things are normal. Yay. And we'll find out in the months to come if we for sure are able to film and how the show will be different. It's our goal for the show to feel pretty much the same as it normally would to the viewer, but we recognize that the experience for the people on the show is probably going to be quite different because it's our job to protect ourselves and them and everyone in between and all of the communities that we visit. So things are going to be different, and we're up for the challenge. America needs Christmas more than ever.
Heck yeah.
And we can't wait to share the beauty with everyone.
Yeah, I mean, JR, just from your experience, you had the crew in and out of the house, I'm sure, right? Like, did you, like, I guess it can't really be that way this year, but it's still gonna be fun, so.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an experience when everybody's there, especially the reveal night with everybody. It gets, there's a ton of people, and it gets crazy.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting what you guys have to do different, because it took us a lot of people to make this happen.
That's for sure. Yeah. That's for sure. But because we're carrying on exactly, you know, how as we have in the past, we are currently casting season 9. I'm the casting director. I've been on since season 2. And I was the casting producer when I started. I then took over casting, and I've been leading the charge ever since. And we always find amazing new displays in summertime, which is why it's so important. You know, we're not just working off of what we found at wintertime casting. We are still looking for brand new homes. We want, you know, those families that are shy or in the, you know, maybe a little nervous to apply. We want those beautiful homes that we've never even seen before to come out of the woodworks and join us this year, because it's gonna be a great season, and we want to make sure that that happens. So we're going. We're forging ahead. We just started this week. So there's time.
I think this year you're probably going to have some of the more decorations. I feel like people are going to go more out this year than they have before.
I think that's the thing I've noticed, is that I'm on a lot of the forums and I'm friends with a lot of people who have been growing and working towards being on the show. And I mean, they're at home. So what do light people do when they're at home? They're pushing pixels, and people are building trees. And, you know, I literally spoke to a guy today who last year went, you know, I'm really happy at the size. And he's gone, I've just made 20 new trees.
Yeah. And people are definitely buying more stuff, especially Brian over here, who's buying a ton of stuff. Brian was actually at my filming.
What do you think, Brian? From
oh my god, the best film crew. I mean, if you couldn't ask for, and I'm terrible with names. I'm gonna say the big guy. Was it Dan?
No.
Way off. Okay, the big guy was super awesome.
Oh, Mark.
Yeah.
Was it Mark?
Well, Mark's the guy who came when Tanya was there.
Oh.
And then Chad was the one that was there every day.
Chad. Yeah, he was super awesome. And the I call her the go-to lady. She did like
Maggie,
all the running to get stuff. Yeah, she was so cool. So yeah, it was an experience that I don't want to go through up here, but
well, I would like to see your footage of your last year.
We demand footage.
I am totally, I mean, I'm out in the country. It's totally black except for my house. I mean,
that's
I have
right. That's what we love.
I have the
like
airport
when you come around over the hill and you see the glow. That's what that shot is the best.
Okay, I gotta go.
So there's no neighbors to annoy. So there's lots of
dinner time. It's look.
Oh, you wait. Once I find
That's
you on
weird.
Facebook, I'm never letting you go now.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, let me change my name to JR's son.
Yeah, I'm adding you right now.
Oh shoot.
But it is,
No,
I mean,
it's-
you know, there's people who discovered hobbies during COVID-19 and during quarantine, and there's others who have their hobby and they know exactly what they like to do with their free time, and they've been spending their free time doing lights and, you know, creating the handmade things and painting and designing and coming up with unique elements to add to their show. I mean, you know, you can watch episodes back and you can see how Christmas has changed through the years. I feel like, you know, it used to be a lot of cardboard cutouts and now there's 3D animated displays. I mean, there's so much, and it's whatever you can come up with.
There's decor now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yes,
That
there
sounds
is.
awesome.
It's
There's a
not
whole lot
wood.
more of it now too.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the best parts of our show, and definitely for I think I can speak for the judges and say that one of the best parts of the show is like seeing the invention and just the way you guys continue to push boundaries and be creative and are constantly making new ways to decorate your home. I mean, that is what's so intriguing to the viewer. That's why people keep coming back year after year, and that's what keeps the judges on their toes. So for all of you out there who are thinking of submitting, think about how you can push the boundaries and show us something you've never seen on the show before. Like, that is what we want more than anything.
But don't forget, it's still a light fight. So we want to see lights too.
Yes. Yes.
So whatever you do, put lights on it.
Yeah. No, I think people are definitely got some unique stuff I've seen in the groups that is on its way. I know Brian has a unique thing that he's making, but I think Brian might be ready to cast next year.
No.
Well, then get your footage this year. So just so everybody knows how it works, we can't pitch a display without pretty good footage. And JR, you and I went through this.
Yes.
You know, and you finally got that drone and the amazing shots. And it's like, we can't just walk into ABC and say, so listen to this. This is what they have, and give them a verbal explanation of your display.
Yeah.
And even photos is really, really tough because they want to see that your display is ready for broadcast.
They want to see the essence of your display.
Yeah, I mean, they have to see it. They can't put, as you see, this entire crew of people, you know, put them into Felicia's, you know, amazing grids and, you know, go out there and then show up like, oh,
yeah,
you know, this isn't quite what we thought it was. We need to see what it is. And then if you add on from there, the more the merrier, literally. But we need to see that it's ABC ready at the time of filming. So anyone who has footage of 2019, you know, we need to see all of that, and then we can kind of determine if you're ready for casting this year, if we maybe have some tips or tricks for you for next year. So, but the footage is key. That's the only way for us to get the point across to the network.
And then something I learned was don't edit and make a fancy video. Just give them all your videos. They'll edit it and make it really cool, but just give them all the videos because they might see something that you might edit out that they think is unique. So just don't spend the time making a fancy video. Just give them all your videos you got.
Yeah, and one of the things we hear all the time is, I did this year and I'm going even bigger next year. And you can understand our dilemma because people, you know, say that they're going to build a castle and then come Christmas time, that's maybe not a castle, more like a little dollhouse kind of thing. Yeah. And so if you want to, one of the things I recommend is if your footage is, you know, pretty good, but you're like expanding, then this time of year, while you're building, shoot videos of yourself building stuff and make sure your camera's this way, not this way. Always this way, people. Never, ever this way.
And landscape, for those that are listening on the podcast and not watching, she was doing it in landscape, not vertical, but horizontal with the phone.
Yes,
So,
thank you.
Sorry, we do have some listeners that don't.
Yeah,
watch,
good
they
point.
just listen,
There's just
so.
one really, and he'll tell us.
But yeah, so just, feel free to film what you're making. And also with light shows, you can, show us the rendering, because that's the technology these days is really incredible. We can really visualize what it's going to look like. And that can help you skip a year in waiting to film, the good footage to pitch.
Exactly. I mean, while you're in building mode, you're painting. I'm sure you're lighting up whatever you're putting together. So turn the lights down, light it up. If it's a big snowman, I remember one year there was, we used a bunch of different footage of his basement, but it worked. He was able to get his point across from all of the pieces that he was building in his basement and was going to put out that year. So
that's really cool. That's a good idea. So all you people building stuff right now, take videos.
Get your kids out there to videotape dad or mom building everything out there.
Sometimes it's also about the smaller inventions, right? And like, do you have a very unique way that you push pixels? Have you created something that, everyone complains about their fingers hurting. Like, did you create this new way to do it? It can be small methodologies. Like, we just want to see interesting, unique approaches to it, and passion. We want to see your passion.
I mean, you've all seen, people who, end up on the Light Fight that are now selling the products that they created. And we love that. We want the Christmas community to expand. I mean, that's going to keep us going. And just, without the Christmas community, this show would not continue. So we need you guys to continue and to grow and to be innovative and to use your imagination.
And I think you really hit a good point there with the Christmas community, because quite often you guys, everybody knows everybody knows everybody. It's like a small country town where if someone sneezes, everybody knows about it. I know that because I grew up in one. But, if you know a great display, it always amazes me that someone I've been talking to for 3 or 4 years, they get on the show and then they're like, oh, you really should check out, the Smiths. And you're like, wait, what? And it's extraordinary, and it's acres, and it's like, or, the whole house is covered on a small block. And, you're amazed that A, how did we miss it? But B, how did the community that we know and rely on not tell us?
Because I think a lot of guys who haven't been on the show are not going to throw competition their way. just saying. They're not going to tell people.
You have to elaborate on that. Tell us what you're hearing.
No, I'm just saying, like, now that I've been on it, I'll tell you 100 people that should be on it. But when I was trying to get on it,
I get you.
I know people that I didn't want to be on it with.
Yeah,
all right, well, Dish.
I would argue that you guys all lift each other up, right? And by supporting each other through it, like we've seen so many people, when it was your year, a lot of other light fighters came to help you, and I'm sure you will help them in the coming years. And so I think, I wouldn't encourage you to hold out on us, because also remember that if they do anything remotely similar to you, they're probably not going to be in your episode.
Yeah.
And that's a really important thing about the show, is that we always try to put really diverse things in each episode. So, if there's someone that's amazing and you're afraid to tell us about it because you think they're going to beat you, chances are they're not going to be in your episode. So please share the wealth, because we want the show to continue. If there's ever a time in which we think we're running out, or ABC perceives that would be the end, which would be very sad for all of us. But I have faith that we are going to go for years and years and years. We're the little Christmas show that could.
Yeah, well, there's so many new people getting into the hobby that there's all kinds of new stuff that's going to happen. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I just talked to some teenage brothers yesterday. They're not ready yet, but they take notes while they watch the show. They look up to previous contestants. They are dedicating themselves to being on the show. And obviously to their display in general, but this is the Super Bowl of Christmas lights, in my opinion. And why wouldn't you want to showcase your art to the world? That's how I look at it. Whether it's win or lose, I know a lot of people are kind of maybe feel like the competition isn't for them. But what a joy and an absolute like treasurable moment for your family.
Well, the experience in general was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Brian knows he was there for my whole thing. See, Brian came a week before my filming to come help me, all the way from Montana, which is part of Canada.
I went early because I moved slow, so.
Yeah. But he stayed like a week before and stayed through the whole thing to help me out.
And I think that's one of the things that people say a lot is, and you know, the families with the kids and everything, a lot of people, I mean, there's two divisions. There's the people who just want to win, and that's like the Olympics, and they're going to wait, and they ask us for advice. You know, we're never going to give you advice, but if you ask us, we'll help you and guide you, but we're never going to say, you know, your display's not good enough. You know, we love all displays. But one of the things are the families who come on, they come on just for the experience and not necessarily to win. And I think that's really important to tell that you don't always have to be the Olympics. You know, you could be a great family dynamic and have a great story where you all push pixels and, you know, you come from this small town and you inherited this one piece. And, you know, the families come out of it with this beautiful video memory that they have of their family captured at a certain time in times that are so uncertain, and they treasure it and they sit and they watch their episode, and it's a time capsule. It's a Christmas time capsule. So I feel like there's those two sorts of families that we want to reach. It's the Olympians, but it's also, you know, those little engines that could win. You know, check out this year. This year's amazing. Like, you know, it's going to surprise you. You're all going to sit there and think they're going to win, and they might not.
It's gonna be awesome.
I keep going back to Father's Day because I was teasing my family that we're gonna have a pixel pushing party on Father's Day. They kept bugging me. What are we gonna do on Father's Day? All this, so we're gonna have a pixel pushing party, and just jokingly, well, I was out in my recliner pushing pixels into my new Mega Tree, and my daughter says, "Well, let me join in, Dad. Let me help out." And I'm like, and she's 12, and I'm like, "All right." So she sits down. I got a nice picture of her, and I must have said something smart to her when I was taking the picture, but she wasn't smiling enough because she had the cringe look on her face.
Of course, she was pushing a pixel.
One, so
true.
That's exactly. I said, you got to get calluses. You don't have calluses on your hands yet.
Oh, but how did that make you feel? I mean, that must have been awesome, especially on Father's Day. This is like your
that was awesome for the 25 pixels that she pushed. She's like, I did like 150, and I'm like, honey, it's only 100 string, and there's still like 3/4 of it left. So, I counted them.
But you would be surprised how many, you know, and maybe not at 12, it is a little young, but the next generation is gaining your spirit, you know, and they're seeing why you're doing this. And it's not just for you, it's for the community. So, I mean, the kids that are on the show, you know, whether they're physically involved or otherwise, they really do appreciate, you know, their families putting this on and for the community, and how much pride they have that they get to have their friends come over and see this amazing Christmas display. It's really amazing what you do for the community.
My daughter still talks about it.
Really?
It hasn't even been on TV yet. But anytime she sees Tanya on TV for something, she's like, "Oh, it's Tanya! It's Tanya!" It's pretty funny.
So cool! So cool.
So, how long will pre-castings? That's what you're in right now, right? Am I saying that right?
Yeah. Well, we're in like official casting right now, casting mode. So, which means that, you know, we're doing, you know, putting the packages together of the families for the network, and we'll be going until about mid-August. But that doesn't mean wait till mid-August to apply. That means that's when casting ends. Make sure
get your stuff in now.
Yes, apply now, because then we can get you in the mix. If you apply mid-August, we may not have time, because the editor you were talking about, who has to sift through all the beautiful footage, he's a Christmas fanatic as well, and he takes his time looking through it, but he doesn't have much time because we like to pitch a lot of families and have lots of options.
And I think that's probably a good thing to like explain the process as well. You know, we do cast twice a year, and depending on when you've got your footage, you know, a lot of people apply at Christmas time, and which is a great time because we encourage you to get footage and we can guide you through. We send you a little guide on how to film. Please, landscape. We tell you that sometimes it doesn't happen. And, to be really honest, I know a lot of people are like TikToking their Christmas and things like that, and they think, oh, it'll be okay. But trust me, it sometimes it's just not okay. And you might have to wait a whole year simply because you didn't shoot the same video, the 30 seconds this way and the 30 seconds that way landscape. And so we will take your footage, we'll look at it, we'll kind of think, is this ready? Should we interview them? Then we do a little Zoom interview. For those who are watching, that's kind of what we do. It's a little video interview. It's really super simple. We send you the instructions, and then we take your footage that we think is good enough and your interview, which is you guys just talking about Christmas and why we love it. And I started it when I was 12 when my dad forced me to do 25 pixels on Father's Day. I love it. And it's great. So we do the family interview and that gets all cut up. And then, we send it to the network and they choose. And then those ones are filmed. But for those who aren't picked or for those that aren't ready, we'll call you again at Christmas time and remind you to get footage. And I'll stalk you on Facebook and be like, hey, remember me? Hi, I know your friend said you had really good footage, really great display.
On Facebook.
And a good point on top of that is because we pitch way more families than are going to be able to end up on the episode, just because you didn't make it 1 year to the final filming does not mean that you're out. It's not like,
nope.
You can continue on and get footage that next year. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're going to continue doing your Christmas display anyway, you might as well film it and send us the footage. Because if you don't see any reason to stop doing Christmas, then we don't see any reason to stop pitching you. We're going to continue to try to get you on the show. We want to make sure that everybody gets their chance. It's a really great experience. And one thing to think about as well, especially when we first started, you can imagine we had to start from scratch. We had to pitch footage that we didn't walk people through. So friends, family members, people on Facebook, they may have footage that you don't even know about. So if you have a Facebook page or Facebook group and you're interested in, being on the Light Fight or at least casting or auditioning, just put out a little note to the people who are on your Facebook and ask them if they have footage. You would be shocked and amazed how much footage exists out there that you don't even know is out there. So just because you didn't take footage this year does not mean that footage doesn't exist. It's possible it exists.
Yeah, some of my footage I got from friends. And she was right too. Like my first year of going through the process, I didn't make it, but I got kind of far. And then the second year it worked out. So
exactly.
And some people apply for 5 years or more before we get to them. And it's not anything other than the fact that there's so many good displays out there and we only have so many spots and we have all the mandates that we need to fill, like having it diverse across the country and different types of displays and whatnot. There's so many boxes we have to check that we just don't have room for everybody every year, But I really want to commend Kristen and AJ and their team. They are really advocates for everyone applying. They are not part of production. They're not part of filming. They don't ultimately decide who makes it on the show. They are advocates and people who will help you get seen by ABC so that people like me and ABC can decide to put you on the show. So it's so important that, they are always so friendly and welcoming and try very hard to help everyone. And I love to hear all the positive experiences that everyone has, and anyone who is disheartened because you didn't make it, a first, second, or third time, know that they are working really hard to get you on because they're all about trying to get everybody on the show eventually.
Yeah, you become like family members to us. A lot of us, we know when the kids are growing up, we know, what's happening with family members. I mean, we become Facebook friends. I'm not kidding. I really will reach out to you on Facebook a lot. But, we do become a part of the family and we're like, hey, how's little Zachy doing? And, it's like, we just love to watch you and grow. And some people, like we said, they just really want to be on the show and they don't care how long it takes. and we become a part of the family, and we will advocate for you every year.
I mean, I can't tell you the number of times that I go to Felicia like, this family again, remember them?
And they made it.
Like, my heart goes out. I know the passion, you know, it's like, but again, it's not my decision. I look good if the families look really good, and the network is excited when the families come forward. So it's my job to make the families look amazing, and I want to put them forth in the best way possible. So I'll spend like 20, 30 minutes talking somebody through getting the footage or coming up with ideas, or, oh, did you think of a theme? Have you ever, you know, it just feels like there's not necessarily a theme, but what if this, you know, if you notice, some of the most memorable houses have themes to them, and you know, I think that's why they stand out in your head, whether they win or lose. It's, you know, they stand out because it's like, oh, remember the blank house? You remember that.
Well, I think that's good to cover too. Like, what are your tips? Like, if it's spread out over an acre, what would you do? Or if the roof isn't covered, like, hit some of the points that people don't know the mistakes they're making that could be super easily fixed without actually spending any money.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and actually yeah, exactly. So if you have a big acreage, if you have acres and acres of property, on video, and, you know, Felicia, you can attest to this as well, it's really hard to see it all from a drone if it's all spread out. So you may want that acres and acres of land, and you have a big drive-through, which is amazing. But if you condensed it a little bit, it may shine a little brighter, and you may, you know, have the opportunity to get footage that just wows us versus, it seems like there's a lot more darkness than light in this, you know, in this area kind of thing.
Yeah, fill the dark spots. Look at you might have a house that's covered, but then the roof is that great canvas that isn't covered. So, you know, maybe light up the roof, or you look at your lawn and the lawn is very sparse, or driveways. People have been really creative with driveways in the past. You know, there's been ice rinks and, you know, candy cane lanes, and, you know, like, there's really different things that you could do that could be super simple that don't cost any money.
Yeah, projection, and then you can still drive your car on it.
And I'll just jump in really quick, and two things, like, condensing has always resulted in better results in general. We've had contestants who were alternates who ended up then getting on the show in the last minute, having to condense because of the rules or whatever. Their stuff was all over too many different properties. They didn't want to. They dragged their heels. They fought me, and I pleaded with them, and they condensed it, and they ended up winning because it was so spectacular once it was all on one property. So I can't say enough about really filling in blank spaces and condensing. And the other thing, just about what Kristen was saying, themes are always great. They're not necessary all the time. So I don't want everyone running out after listening to this and going and getting a theme. I think themes work if they're organic. I think themes work if they're genuine to who you are and what, you know, some families really love Disney. Some families, they have a whole storyline, like David Peace had the pirate storyline that was so fantastic. So I guess what I'm saying is, whenever you are thinking about pivoting in a big direction because of feedback you've heard from us or other people, and in the back of your mind, it's not just for yourself, it's for the show, reach out to us. We will happily give you some guidance, because I would hate for someone to say, oh, they said themes, okay, I'm going to make everything about dogs in my house now. And it's like, what is that, right? So we love themes, we love condensing, but we also love supporting you and making sure that, like, advice is tailored to your property, because it's not a one-size-fits-all scenario.
Have you guys reached your quota on pirate ships?
Never enough pirate ships.
Well, I mean, just like trains, there's never enough trains, there's never enough pirate ships.
And castles. Castles, we love castles.
Yes, castles.
I'd love you to talk about, one of the things that I get a lot of feedback is how the judging is broken up. And some people are like, well, you know, I don't have a good enough story, or I don't have, can you just, for those who are listening, break that up, how that happens? And, you know, you don't need to have a sad story, like, you know, things like that.
You're
No.
taking away my questions. I
Aw.
had that written
Brian.
Rewind.
down. No, please go ahead.
No.
Go ahead. And I addressed this when I did the podcast in December, like to death, so I won't go over it too much. But yeah, it's a great question, and it's great for all the new listeners to hear. This is judged by a single judge. That is the judge that you meet in person, likely Tanya or Carter. And so they've been with the show for many seasons. They know almost everything there is. They're not going to know as much as you on your specific, designs, but they're going to know a lot about what they're hearing. And they're coming to be impressed. And the absolute most important thing is the overall design. Like when they look at your display, especially that first moment when it turns on, what is the maximum impact? What is that first impression? What do they think of the overall design? That is the most important thing for both of them. Now, they each have their individual tastes, and they each have things that maybe they've seen too much of or things they've never seen before and will be intrigued by. So, I think it's important to, if you're interested in doing your homework and seeing what's been on the show before and make sure you have something new and fresh, I highly suggest that. But at the end of the day, it's about really wowing them with the design. Use of lights is still very important. This is the Great Christmas Light Fight, but it is not really make or break anymore. We've done this show for so many years that at the end of the day, we lean heavily towards what their decision is based on their overall impression of the design. There are some slightly more specific rule stuff, which honestly, I'm not going to get into right now, but if you make it on the show, we will go over it with you and make sure you really understand it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But is it like an hours long conversation maybe?
With lawyers.
Yeah.
It's boring.
Like an hour and a half with two lawyers. It's great.
Yeah. But also before that, when so if you are lucky enough to make it on the show this year, myself or someone from my team will reach out to you and let you know that we want you to be on the show. This is the date we want for you. And then we'll have a really long, detailed conversation, which you can also attest to, about your dreams, wishes, and desires for what you want to do on the show. What are your plans? If we still see any, things you should consider, like this dark space or whatnot, we'll go through it all then, and you'll have a dedicated producer who will be by your side throughout the process to help you anytime you have those questions. So we really we're always there to support you and make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. But yeah. Design. Do something unique. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, and even when filming starts, everybody's still there to help you.
Yeah.
My producer was awesome. When it came to moving my candy cane a certain way so it looks better on camera, we did that. It was it was cool. It was awesome.
Yeah. And also we respect your artistic integrity. So we might have suggestions, and we might sometimes highly suggest them because we've done this for a long time and we want you to look good on camera. We want you to do well with the judge. But at the end of the day, it's always your display, right? We've had people dig in their heels and refuse to take our suggestions, which is your decision. It's your house. It's your story. It's your life. We are just guests there, and we are so grateful to be flies on the wall. So, if you said, no, Chad, I don't want you to move my candy cane, and then it wasn't in the shot properly, that would be on you. But we tried.
Yeah.
And I just want to point out, because I know that a lot of people have talked about this, and especially people who've been watching maybe from season 1, who maybe now feel like they're ready to apply. There is no 30-day limit anymore, and it hasn't been a thing for a very long time. But there was a time where production would come out to your house and film the home with nothing on it. And then you had, what was it?
21 days. 21 days was first season.
3 weeks is not nearly enough, as I know. That has completely gone away. If you are so confident and you want to start decorating now, you can do that. So just so everyone's aware, we're just looking for the final, display. We're not trying to limit you at all as far as timing is concerned.
But you
And we
don't
don't
have to start early.
No,
Yeah.
you don't
Right.
have to.
I didn't start till after Chad came the first time. I don't know why I did it that way. It made it very much more stressful.
Wow.
But I felt like I had time, and it wasn't
Yeah.
going to be that bad.
He had help
It's just-
coming.
Yeah, and I had help coming to do the hard
Right,
stuff.
and Brian came down.
I mean, there are some advantages to, not getting too far along before you have these important conversations and really understand what's going to happen. But it's to each their own. Like some displays and some people with their work schedule, with their life schedule, they just have to start early. We even one time knew someone who like had built their house in a way where it was pretty much the lights were up all year long. So to each their own. At this point, like I said, we really just want to be observers. We don't want to intrude and impose so much. We just want to support you guys in looking as good as you can.
So with filming, do you try to do the warmer climate states later in the filming season, because you film a year in advance? So, or is it just as the dates populate, it doesn't matter where they're located?
There are like 1,000 things that go into figuring out the dates. It's a big puzzle because the judges, are two human beings who occasionally need days off and have to fly everywhere. Our crews also, definitely need, so it's a combination of logistics and sometimes city permitting. Sometimes you have to wait a certain amount of days between when you apply to actually getting your permit. There's million factors that are mostly logistical. So we do film in November and December, but when I say December, barely. 90% of the show is shot in November. And we get a lot of requests for late dates, and I'll tell you right now, if you want to be on the show, try to clear your schedule as much as possible, because we can't give everyone the dates they request. It's just not possible. Like, we have to base it off of what logistically works for the show. And this year, it's going to be 10 times harder because of COVID. So this year, I'm going to have very little flexibility at all. And I already apologize in advance to all the families about that. But it's for your own safety. We have to maximize and figure out a strategy to keep everyone safe. Yeah.
I must say,
sorry, go ahead, Kristen. I'm sorry.
The way Felicia's brain works and the fact that you get this puzzle piece together every year, you don't want to see the boards she works off of. It's magnificent. It's a design in itself. So
we have a fantastic team. It's not just me. There's such a huge team, but thank you.
I think we got to see a little bit of the board in December because she was in her office.
That was one of many boards. There's lots of boards. We have an 11-foot whiteboard / calendar that is color coded. It's 11 feet long, and we call it the Beast. And Brady Connell, who's he's the showrunner, one of our EPs. We spend a lot of our time when we have to make big decisions that have ripple effects. We meet over the Beast and we discuss it and pray to it that it won't
the Christmas
mess us up.
Meeting at the Beast. Everybody, 9:00 at the Beast. Oh, I'm sorry, California time. 12:00 at the Beast.
Wow. Back to your question about weather, though, we should just all be grateful that one year we shot twice in a row, and now we're a year ahead because we used to shoot in September and October. And that was bad weather for everybody.
And you would have never had me on the show. So
yeah,
it works that you changed it. I like to think of it.
It was just becoming impossible. I mean, consider an HOA, going to your HOA board if you're a part of an HOA and saying, I'd like to decorate for Christmas in August, please. I don't think you're going to get approved for that. So it was not easy to work with that time frame. So we hustled. We got 2 seasons shot back to back one year, and we all needed a big break after that one. But it worked.
It was worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you had David on the show then, so it was
Exactly.
David's like probably one of my best friends now because of all this.
Oh, and you guys met because of Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Same thing with Brian too.
Yeah, I sent him a
Love
message
it.
yesterday saying, "Miss you, buddy." I haven't gotten anything back, so it shows you how important I am. So, so you have multiple camera crews that cover different regions of the states. Then,
Yeah, sometimes that's how we do it. Sometimes, actually what more often happens is they all ping pong around, like, you know, they're doing 2 states and they're doing 2 states and they're doing 2 states because of the judges' schedule. So in an ideal world, everyone takes a region, but it doesn't always work that way.
gotcha.
We have amazing crews, by the way. I just have to shout out. I know that you've heard people say it, but they are the best of the business and we love them. And most of our camera operators have done it for at least 5 seasons.
And they're fun.
Yeah, so much fun. They're awesome.
So like, it was a lot of fun.
that's great. I think it's hard to work on a Christmas show and not be a positive, you know, excited person. You know, it's like, and they get to meet you guys who are positive and excited and just Christmas, you know, fans, obviously through and through. So it's just like merging of the minds. Everyone says the same about the families.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes you feel cool when you got like 3 black minivans and a black SUV roll up in front of your house.
Oh, yeah.
People stepping out with black sunglasses. on.
Yeah, it makes it cool.
Crew, part of the crew. Check it out.
But it is a fun process. Like even from day one, like we do really get to know you and we have a great time. I do the interviews a lot. Kristen does some of them as well. And, you know, we have a laugh. Like our interviews are fun. You know, we all become friends. I find out all your family kind of ticks, like who's the messy one, who's the pixel pusher, you know, who's the Christmas person who just has to have everything like this. And so, you know, we really do, like, we have a blast. It's a fun interview. Everyone always Facebooks me afterwards going, oh my God, that was so much fun. And, you know, we stay in touch and, you know, we do, it is from day one, it is our goal to make you happy. I mean, we're all mad Christmas lovers. I just, honestly, I wake up and I go, oh my God, I get to talk Christmas again. You know, I'm that person. I leave my tree up till March until somebody guilts me to take it down. It's up in October, you know, so it's just, it's fun and we want to hear your stories and we want to tell your stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if you're thinking about it, you have to at least try. Like, there's no, if you think you got a cool display, give it a try because it's a really cool experience. It's a ton of fun, and I'm gonna go to Brian's house when it gets filmed.
Yeah.
You don't want to be here in December.
I've already added you on Facebook.
There's going to be a place up in, I think it's called Grand Island. I was looking at a property last night on Zoom with a buddy of mine, and I know he's listening right now. And he's got like a corner wrap at this particular house, and you'll be getting something from him in the next couple of years. That's going to be awesome out there.
Did you say you're in Canada, Brian?
No.
No.
I thought you said that too. Are you in Montana?
No, I'm
just looking on Facebook for you now.
Yeah.
I'm in Montana.
I just added you.
Close enough.
Yeah, I like to call it Montana.
There is a running
That's probably
thing.
what I heard.
Yeah.
Montana is exactly what you heard. We were doing, what was it, an introduction last year, last May, to the professional triers, who the hosts are for the different shows that we do and stuff. And I had a little bit too much Fireball. And when it came to my turn, I said, yeah, I'm up here in Montana because of the closeness to it. And some other reasons that was going on a couple summers ago, or was it last summer? No, a couple summers ago. But yeah, I'm in Montana. So
Yeah, but I made him a custom national anthem.
yeah.
Can we hear it?
Oh, it's so.
I don't know if I have it. Right here.
Oh my gosh,
Hold on,
how
let me
fast
go
can we
to
bring it up?
I don't.
I lived in Glacier Park for a summer.
Oh, no
What?
kidding. Which
was-
side? East side or west side? Probably west side.
I was on the west side. Yeah, I was right outside Glacier Park. I worked at Glacier Park Lodge.
No kidding. My wife's grandparents live in West Glacier. That is, I mean, a river across into the national park. It's awesome. So, yep, beautiful up here. Absolutely
Oh my
gorgeous.
gosh.
JR asked me the other day, "What's there to see in Montana?" I'm like, "Well, everything."
Everything.
No, I didn't give him that
Including
answer.
snow until June, but you know.
Yeah, it's awesome up here. So you got to be a special type of individual, I guess, to love it as much as I do up here. Because I got stationed up here in 2001, met my wife, now wife, going on 16 years, I think. So, and yeah, breaks my mom's heart when I say I'm not going back to Kansas.
So cool. See, you have quite the story, Brian. We're just ready to get it out of here.
I can tell you
I've already added him on Facebook. Brian, check your friend requests. I'm already up in your Facebook DMs.
God. I got it over. Oh,
That's such a great example, but everybody has an intriguing story, right? We could dive so much deeper into Montana or whatever.
And you use your anthem as the theme for the casting edit.
Yeah, there we go, Brian.
Well, my SRSF tree that I'm building this year could easily turn into mountains like Glacier. Sorry. So,
well, and also we love veterans. We really do. We really, really love to honor veterans. It's something that we really hold dearly and work very hard at doing, because we do thank you for your service. And we do really, you guys are a very important part of our mission to tell your stories.
Agreed. Thank you for your service, Brian.
Thank you.
There you go, Brian.
We're ready for it.
I told you I'm up in your Facebook.
I'm a few years down the road. I got to go on a diet first. My double chin is. I need a beard back because my double chin is showing.
Hey, you got a couple months.
Need my.
Don't fat shame Santa.
Yeah, there you go.
You're gonna already be on TV this year.
Yeah, but I looked good then, didn't I? Except for my hobbling.
But you could, evolve and just really grow the beard out. Like everyone says, you know, eventually Christmas fanatics turn into Santa, right?
But when I do that and I go see the onlookers that are outside, I look like the homeless guy trying to hand out candy canes.
Not if you put on a big red suit.
Yeah,
that's my trick. That's my secret to success. Just put on a Mrs. Claus.
We can have some fun with that. We'll be Father Christmas.
You guys have anything else super important you need to tell? When will we see like a clip video? Is that coming soon?
That's a great question. Usually close to Thanksgiving. Sadly. Yeah, maybe a little sooner. You know, this is a different type of programming year. But we have no control over promotion. That's all ABC. And we find out, as soon as we find out, it's usually public and we share it immediately. So yeah, it'll be a fun surprise. But a bonus for everyone who's been on the show, we will send you little clips of your home package, which is like, you know, the prepping before the light reveal. And you can share it on your social media, and that will come out prior to the episode. So that's something fun to look forward to.
Very cool.
Cool.
Well, and apply or recommend. You can refer someone. We go to lightfightcasting.com, get on the website, but you can also find me on social media. I'm AJ Rochester. I'm very easy to find. Google me. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I'm very, very reachable. So if you want that more personalized kind of, hey, can you hold my hand and guide me through the process? Or just, hey, this display is really great. Drop me a DM. I will always respond. You know, like I say, it's an ever-growing family. And once you reach out, you really are a part of our family forever. More.
Same here.
I love this.
You know,
She's awesome.
I've had people reach out and just send me a quick video, like, what do you think? Do you think I should apply? And I will give them my honest answer. I'm not going to drag somebody down the casting route when I feel like maybe there's, you know, something that they could do to really judge up what they're doing, or at least have that conversation with them and ask them what they're planning on for this coming year. Because as we know now, you're all planning for 2020, if not 2021 already at this point. So we know you know what's going up this year. So we're going to find out. And we are not going to, you know, believe me, we have a big grid. We have a master grid of lots and lots of families that we've worked with through the years. And it takes us a long time to get through and out to everybody each year. So we're not going to do the interview and get your family involved and get your, you know, heartstrings and attached if we don't think that you even are going to be pitched this year. So reach out, send us a quick link or video, and we're happy to give you our honest opinions.
Say that link again. Oh, sorry.
Lightfightcasting.com.
And another thing too is if you talk to them in December and did like an interview and you don't hear anything from them, that doesn't mean you're not on the show. Because I went all of last year going, I guess I didn't make it, and then finding out I did. So if you don't hear anything through the summer, that doesn't mean you're not gonna make it. It just they already got what they needed from you, and they're pitching you.
Right, because we did our interview in December.
Yeah.
And it's like a whole right.
Yeah. And then I didn't hear nothing. I was like, well, that didn't go so well, I guess. But then it did, so it was fine. So don't stress out if you haven't heard anything lately, because they're busy.
Well, we go off and work on other shows, and we kind of drop in twice a year. And so, you know, it comes to summer, and we're like, oh, wow. You know, people are like, oh, I sent you 20 emails. I was like, well, I was not in the office, or, you know, so I wasn't in that show. So, you know, just persevere with us.
We're so grateful to the Christmas community for welcoming us and letting us show the world what you do. And we take that honor, like, it feels like an honor. We don't take it lightly. We know that this is precious to everybody who does it. And that's why we love it, because it's so precious to you. We don't always get to work with amazing people like this on other shows. You see some other reality TV shows, it's not the same. Like, this is truly something I look forward to all year long because of you guys. And so thank you from all of the crew and ABC and everyone for just being your authentic, true selves who are genuinely good people. Like, that's what America needs right now.
Well, thank you guys for being on the show, and thank you for doing the show, because it honestly, I think, gives something to like push for. Because I did my display for like 11 years. And then when I decided that maybe I want to be on the show, I started like doing more stuff to get to the point where I was okay to be like, okay, let me try to be on the show. So it gives something to push for. It's cool.
And yeah, those apricots, we never would have gotten you.
No, you wouldn't.
Apricots, right?
Yeah, apricots. You would have never got me on the show if you still recorded in the summertime.
Right. Apricots first, Christmas second.
Yeah. For sure.
Wait, it really is it apricots or apricots? I keep confusing.
Oh,
apricots, right? Yeah.
Apricots.
Oh, I'm from New Jersey. I don't know.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of people on the East Coast say it wrong.
Interesting. Apricots. Okay.
I'm from Australia. It's apricots, mate.
You even have them there?
As long as you have it with the Fosters. Just kidding.
Australians don't drink Fosters.
I know.
I
have heard that.
Fosters stands for Fools Only Sip This Extremely Revolting Stuff. Fosters. Fosters. We don't drink it. We send it to silly Americans to drink. We go, yeah, Foster's Cup, mate. Yeah, beauty. Love it. Drink it. Yeah.
That's awesome. And everybody who's listening to this, make sure you watch the next game show episode, because we're going to have a very special game show too.
So true.
We're also recording tonight, so it's going to be awesome.
And also, are you guys going to be at the Zoom Expo?
I am not. Brian is a big part of that team of making that happen.
Great.
I am still going to Vegas, where Expo was supposed to be. So
Wow.
So the virtual Christmas summit, 2020 virtual Christmas summit. Yeah. So that's going to be the 18th and I should probably know better.
It's
See,
the
this is what
18th
you
and
do when
19th.
you cut your hair. You lose
18th
your
and
memory.
19th.
Yeah.
So
We'll
yeah.
be on the 18th.
Yep. We got it all blocked off for you guys. So
Very
it'll be a
cool.
good
Thanks for
time.
putting that together. That's amazing. It's, it's tough
I-
to not have the
Here just tells me when and where to be, and I'm there. So
Take some credit, Brian.
it's all him. So it's right over here.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much. So good to see you guys.
The Pixel Pro Display Sequence Club is the only club that pays for itself. Here are just some of the benefits of becoming a member. Each month, you will receive a free original sequence programmed by the pros at PPD to take your display to the next level. Access to weekly X-Lights effects presets, which you can use in your own sequences or modify to create your own unique effects library. Access to the PPD affiliate discount program, getting up to 15% off or more from over a dozen of our PPD partners. So visit us on the web today at pixelprodisplays.com and also find us on Facebook at Pixel Pro University. Pixel Pro Displays. What can Pixel Pro Displays do for you? Once again, the Professional Triers Holiday Lighting Show has raised the bar, teaming up with another awesome sponsor, Zazzle, to provide you, our VIP listeners, with some cool, awesome, one-of-a-kind Professional Triers gear, including the Hot or Not shot glass, the Blinky Flashy Lowdown notebook, the Professional Triers Blinky Gear beer stein, the ever-so-popular David Peace Not a Vendor t-shirt, the must-have Robert Petty Make Rob Great Again t-shirt, the one-of-a-kind Jordan Nash
Do you like my decorations?
t-shirt, and of course the must-have Professional Triers Blinky t-shirt, and much, much more. You can even create your own one-of-a-kind Professional Triers gear. So go to trierswag.com, that's TRIERSSWAG.com, and get your Professional Triers gear today.